Hi, this is Owen from 254 Brewing, and welcome to the Sondeka Festival 2021. My name is Owen Flynn. I'm the CEO and co-founder of 254 Brewing Co. Craft Beer, and also co-founder of Booch, Kombucha, and grounded non-toxic cleaning products. 254 makes a wide range of craft beer. So we have 7 flagship products on the market: lagers, IPAs, stouts, porters, Belgian styles of beers. Booch is a healthy alternative to soda or coffee or tea. It's a raw, again, raw unpasteurized kombucha. So kind of a soda-like drink. Super healthy, super good for you. And Grounded makes a line of household cleaning products without all the nasty chemicals. 254 Brewing, we incorporated the company in February 2018, and we got our license to manufacture alcohol in January 2020. So we've been around for 3 years, but the first 2 years was getting the license. And then, of course, last year we had Corona. So basically, we're kind of a new product in the market, I guess. I come from Ireland. I cut my teeth working in manufacturing in China. And 10 years ago, we drove a Jeep from China. My wife and I, we drove a Jeep from China to Cape Town, South Africa. And we fell in love with Nairobi on that journey. And our background being manufacturing, we were really just excited to get involved in manufacturing in Kenya. When you go back here, you'll see small brewing system, small fermenters. Everything we do is on a small batch scale. We started off with really high grade barley. We have over 20 different kinds of malt that we use, so we get a wide variety. The barley is super nutritious. It has a lot of micronutrients in it that helps the yeast be healthy and do a good fermentation. So we start with that barley, and we're basically making a barley tea. We're making a sweet barley tea. Then we're adding hops for flavor, and we add some of our beers. We add a lot of hops. Some of our Santrap IPA, we'll use about 30 times more hops than a commercial lager. So you get a lot more of those fruity flavors, citrusy, floral flavors coming out of our IPAs. But then we also make lagers, we also make dark beers, and so on. After we've added the hops, we cool the beer. We cooled down the wort. Hasn't yet become beer. We add in the yeast, and we send it now down to the fermenters. And then it sits in the fermenters for 2 or 3 weeks while we let the yeast do its job. When it's ready, we package it up in bottles or kegs. The key thing we do, which is different to everyone else in the market, is that we don't pasteurize or filter our beer. So when the beer is ready, it undergoes a process called cold crashing. So we bring all that beer in the fermenter down to 0 degrees Celsius, and all the yeast sediment crashes down to the bottom of the fermenter. Then we pull the beer off from above the level of the sediments. So what we have is a supernatural, probiotic, full flavor beer. 3 key ingredients of beer is malt, hops, and yeast. And so we have some beers which are hop-led. So the flavor is driven by the hops. That's our IPAs. We have our Little 5 IPAs, Sandtrap, Golden Rump, even Cliffhanger is an IPA. So those beers have a lot of hops in them. And then we have other malt-led beers. So a malt-led beer is going to be something like our amber beer, Ambercelli. We have a stout and a porter. So those dark beers where the flavor's been more driven by the malt. And then finally we have yeast-led beers. So like Sambrew Brew. We had one last month we brought out called Muratatu. It's a Belgian triple. So those are like our German, Belgian style of beers. Where we use specific yeasts, and the primary flavors coming from the yeast and the fermentation and the products that the yeast produces in the fermentation. There's a lot of things that make us unique. Obviously, we're the only beer company doing unpasteurized and unfiltered beer. So the beer has more flavor, it needs to be kept cold. So that creates a lot of challenges on the distribution side, which has driven some innovations in the business. We're very lucky last year. We were able to recruit one of the top brewmasters in the world for craft beer, with Matt Walsh, who's our head brewer now. As in 2020, microbreweries were closing all over America, and we were actually growing here in Kenya, and we managed to recruit Matt to come out here. We do a lot of innovations and stuff on the product side as well. There's one of the only licensed Muratina brewers is just 5 minutes down the road here in Wangige. And we've been like having the brewers liaise back and forth with those guys and talking about the history of Muratina, all of the microbiology that's going on in Muratina, the alchemy of that. Muratina is also an unfiltered, unpasteurized product, so we really have a lot in common with those guys, and so we've been like scheming on like how could we make like a craft Muratina, or what kind of natural indigenous ingredients could we use to make some craft beers here in Kenya that have never been seen before anywhere in the world. The beer industry in Kenya is quite interesting, and I have found it really interesting to look back on, you know, Tusker will turn 100 next year. So we've had 100 years of barley beer, and centuries before that of traditional ferments. And it's sad for me that the traditional ferments have been marginalized quite a lot, though they still exist, and now licensing is coming into that world as well, which I find interesting. In terms of commercial brewers, we're only the 8th licensed commercial brewery in Kenya in 100 years. So that's a very small number. And you know, this, in a country, you know, in a typical European country like that might be 10 times smaller than Kenya, might have, you know, hundreds of breweries, you know. So we're mostly accustomed to a small number of commercial lagers, and it's just now starting to open up to craft beer. We've got the Bila Shaka guys, we've got the Kenyan Original guys, Sierra and Big Five have been here for a while, so we see the door is starting to open up now on craft beer, which for us is very exciting. So I think the next 100 years probably be more exciting than the last. You know, you have so many challenges, and if you're entering a market which has been controlled heavily by a small number of brands for a very long time. So we had a long challenge in getting licensed. It took 2 years. We have a big challenge, you know, creating awareness as a small company with a small marketing budget. And, you know, Tusker and Whitecap have done amazing marketing for 100 years. So, of course, they're very beloved brands to Kenyans, and there's a lot of inertia of Kenyan beer drinkers and a lot of brand loyalty with those brands that have been here for a long time. But we also see Kenyan consumers are very curious, and people are always willing to give you a try. And so it goes step by step, but, you know, just getting the brand out there, having people be willing to try. Those are challenges, but we enjoy those challenges. Find us all over Nairobi, in Chanaranas and Carrefours and lots of bars like Gecko and Alchemist and Shamba and so on. We definitely encourage you to come out here to Kikuyu, to the brewery, to the tap room, to see how it's made, drink it fresh, straight out of the fermenter, and, you know, DJ Chopsticks is here on the weekends, and there's amazing food, and it's just an epic vibe. So just come on out here. That's my recommendation. Check out our website, 254brewing.com, or Instagram. That's about as far as we've made it with our socials so far. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, enjoy the festival. And we're super stoked and proud to be part of the innovation that's happening in Kenya right now. We feel like the products that are coming out of Kenya are world class and would really kick ass in any market. So we're just stoked to be here. So please, as an Irishman, let me stay for as long as possible.